Yo, what's good guys, it's Ty Sunley. Today we're back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing who is the best Ghostface in the Scream franchise. Now, me personally, when it comes to the Scream franchise, which is, by the way, if you guys don't know, my favorite franchise in the entirety of horror films, my favorite franchise is Scream. Love it. My favorite horror movie, Scream 1. But yes, like I was saying, when it comes to the Scream franchise, as we all know, there are multiple killers every movie, different killers every movie, different people who portray the Ghostface mask, the knife, and the voice changer. And like I said, it's multiple people each movie, so it's like either a duo or sometimes even a trio. In the newest movies, Scream 6 and 7 are 3 different killers. But yes, we're going to be discussing not only the top 3 Ghostface in my opinion, but at the end I will be revealing my top 1, my favorite Ghostface throughout the entire franchise. But yes, without further ado, I think we should just get straight into discussing it. So, I'm sure everybody watching this video probably already knows what Scream is. If you don't, I don't even know why you clicked on this video in the first place. But yes, everybody watching this video should already be educated enough about the Scream franchise to know, like I said earlier, that there are different killers every movie, different Ghostface every single movie, and it's usually a duo or sometimes even a trio, just multiple people and different people every movie. So, you know, with there being such various killers throughout the entire 7 movies, you have to have a favorite. And in my opinion, there are top 3. There are 3 Ghostface who just exceed and are better than the other ones. We're not really going to be discussing any from the newest Scream movies. Pretty much any Scream we're going to be talking about today is not past Scream 5, unfortunately. The Ghostface from 6 and 7 just aren't. They're not that great. Well, I won't say they're not that great, but they're definitely not on the levels of the top 3 we're going to be talking about in this video. First off, before we get into the top 3, I want to mention one honorable mention that could have made this list and probably is in my top 5, but not my top 3, and that is Roman Bridger from Scream 3. Believe it or not, but Roman Bridger is the only Ghostface throughout the entire franchise to do everything by himself. Roman Bridger was the only solo Ghostface throughout all 7 movies. So all the Hello Sydneys, the knife kills, the everything was Roman Bridger, and me personally, I feel like he did everything well for being a solo Ghostface, which is why I feel like I had to mention him in this video, even if he's not in my top 3. Even though he's not one of my favorite, I feel like you gotta give him his credit, because like I said, he did all that shit himself. Like, he did not have a partner, he did not have 2 partners, he did everything himself, everything. And there was also an explosion in that movie, which was cool as hell. So yeah, we gotta give Roman his flowers. The reason I won't put him in my top 3 though is honestly just because I feel like he's not as clever as some of the other Ghostface or some of the other people that have been Ghostface. I feel like his kills weren't amazing, but honestly, also his reveal wasn't insane. It was kind of crazy, but the reveal wasn't something that like is very rememberable. So that's honestly a few things that are keeping him from being in my top 3. But now, here we go with my top 3 Ghostface throughout the entire franchise. In my number 3 spot, we got Amber Freeman from Scream 5. I feel like when it comes to the newer Scream movies, Amber is probably just the best Ghostface overall throughout all of them. I mean, she did way better than her partner Richie, if I'm being completely honest. Richie's probably one of the most hated Ghostface just because he didn't really do much. I think he only got 1 kill in that movie, if I'm not mistaken. Amber did the rest. But yes, Amber you can kind of consider like a Roman 2.0 because she basically did everything herself. And yeah, her kills were gruesome. She actually was the one to kill Dewey. Rest in peace. And yeah, overall, she's just an amazing Ghostface. I also like how in Scream 5, they tried to recreate the ending scene from the first Scream in the Stu Macher house, which was pretty cool to see. I also liked her reveal because, I'm not going to lie, I had no idea that she was going to be Ghostface when I first saw that movie. I'm not even going to lie to you. I did not expect her. Honestly, it's hard to say who I did expect in that movie because, you know, they upped the ante on the suspicion and the mysteriousness and the eeriness on who the killer may be in that movie, but yeah, I did not guess Amber at all, surprisingly. But yes, like I said, she did fucking 10 times more than Richie ever did throughout that movie. So yeah, I'm glad to put Amber Freeman in my number 3 spot. Also, her kills, like I said, were pretty crazy. Like, they were very gruesome. And her, when she was killed off at the end, that was a pretty cool kill. Honestly, probably one of the best of the franchise. Yeah, fight me, I don't care. I said it. Also, she is strong as hell. She like manhandled multiple people as Ghostface throughout that movie, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, Amber did her thing. That's why she's in my number 3 spot. Now let's move on to my number 2, my second favorite Ghostface of all time. In my number 2 spot, I have to put Charlie Walker from Scream 4. As we know, Scream 4 was the movie that took place after the generation of the first trilogy. As we know, Scream 4 was kind of the movie to happen in the next generation to kind of carry on the legacy after the original Scream 1, 2, and 3 trilogy. So, yeah, that movie was destined to be at least decent. And I can say, without fail to this day, Scream 4 is definitely probably one of my favorite Scream movies throughout the entire franchise. That is why Charlie Walker is one of my favorite Ghostface throughout the entire franchise. Now, do not get me wrong, his partner Jill Roberts, she definitely did her thing, and honestly, that had to have been the craziest reveal throughout the entire franchise. Like, who in their right mind would have expected Jill Roberts, Sydney's cousin? I think that was probably like the most insane, surprising reveal throughout every single movie to this day. But yes, the reason I am putting Charlie Walker in my top 2 spot for my favorite Ghostface is just because, honestly, his kills were insane. Obviously, in the movie, he was a massive horror fan, which was pretty much destined to make him an amazing Ghostface. I mean, I think we all remember the window scene, if you know, you know, which, if I'm not mistaken, was like the most gruesome and goriest kill throughout the entire franchise. And you want to guess who did that? It was Charlie Walker. Honestly, the whole, like, I guess approach to like the motive and how they were going about everything throughout that entire movie was honestly cool as hell, which is why I'm putting not only Scream 4 in one of my favorite Scream movies, but is also why I'm putting Charlie Walker as one of my favorite Ghostface. He's unbeatable when it comes to like gory kills. He was crazy with the knife. That's all I'm gonna say. He was crazy with it. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't care. Some people may call me dumb as hell, but his reveal was kind of crazy too, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Scream 4 probably has the craziest reveals throughout every single movie. But now that we've talked about my number 3 and 2 favorite Ghostface, now let's talk about my number 1 favorite Ghostface throughout the entire franchise. Now, like I said earlier, Scream is my favorite movie of all time, the first Scream, Scream 1, so it's probably no surprise to anybody that my favorite Ghostface is either Billy Loomis or Stu Macher, but who could it possibly be? I'm going to let you guys guess. Who do you think my favorite Ghostface is? Leave it in the comments to lock it in. I'm not going to say that bullshit. But my favorite Ghostface is, drumroll please, Stu Macher. Honestly, when it comes to that like crazy psycho killer like intent and like cadence and mindset, I feel like Stu Macher has it the best out of anybody else who's ever been Ghostface. I mean, I think we all remember throughout the entire movie, even with all the tragedy happening in Woodsboro, Stu still remained with that funny, like, upbeat personality and, like, kind of joking about everything and not really being serious about it, which, yeah, I can't say his reveal was crazy because it was honestly not insane to see that he was Ghostface, but, you know, just seeing him throughout the movie, how he was acting and everything, like, that psycho killerness to him, he had it. Even after his reveal, he was able to keep it up with the line, "My mom's gonna be so mad at me." Like, everything about him was just unserious, but psycho and crazy at the same time. Now, I know everybody in the comments is gonna be like, why isn't Billy Loomis your favorite? Why isn't Billy Loomis your favorite? Like, you put Stu over Billy. Yes, I do. And the reason Billy Loomis isn't in my top 3 is because I just think there's been better Ghostface in my opinion. Like, there's been better Ghostface throughout the franchise. Do not get me wrong. I do think I'd put Billy Loomis in my top 5, but he's definitely not top 3, at least in my opinion. He was insane though. He did great with it, honestly. He's still one of my favorite, just not top 3. But yes, again with Stu Macher, honestly, it really just all comes down to the psycho killerness to him. Like, no other attributes really come into play on why he's my favorite. Like, his motive was pretty trash. He was honestly just doing everything because Billy was his best friend, and he decided he wanted to be, you know what, I wanna slice some people. I wanna slice and dice and clean the blood off this blade. And yeah, that just adds to the psycho killerness to him. He didn't even have a motive. Like, he just did it for the fun of it. I mean, we saw it. He even murked his own girl, bro. Who else is doing that? Okay, wait. Actually, it was Billy who murked Tatum. I forgot. But still, Stu knew it was happening. Like, he did not care at all. He knew when he asked Tatum to go get some beers from the garage, he knew that Billy was about to pop out in the Ghostface mask and murk her. And he showed absolutely no emotion to it. He didn't show anything. He didn't even shed a single tear. Which is why Stu Macher is my favorite Ghostface of all time. But I do think that is the end of the video. Let me know in the comments who your guys' favorite Ghostface are, whether that's your top 3, your top 5, or just your favorite Ghostface in general, your top 1, or even if you don't have a favorite, just let me know of a few Ghostface that you really loved throughout the franchise. And yeah, just I want to know about you guys. I want to know who your favorite horror slashes are and everything like that, which is why we're going to continue to make more of these videos. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, make sure to like, subscribe, follow the Twitch, follow the TikTok, follow the IG. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.